The year was 2017, where a lot of things have happened. It started with the Pure Base 600 and some 30 cases in between. Many were surprised at how disappointing this year has been. Let's put some fans, some shiny lights, and call it a day, but little did they realize that nobody would pay. The bubble will soon burst of this glass box where proper airflow is a paradox. Year after year, designs change, but only one can win. So let the case of words begin. The new OCZ TR200 from Toshiba is a great value SSD if you're considering upgrading your hard drive and get a nice boost in performance with cutting-edge 3D flash memory and ultra-reliable controller with built-in power management. Available in different capacities, check it out below. So guys, welcome back to another annual Case Awards video. We do these every year, so this is gonna be our fourth time. Make sure to check out our previous ones to get an idea of how the case industry has evolved. Unfortunately, the disappointing category for this year is growing, and you can check out our worst case trends video right over here to get the bigger picture. As usual, the selection process applies to cases that we reviewed in 2017, so the categories are the wallet-friendly case, the best mATX option, my personal favorite mid-tower, the uniquely different in a good way case, the most epic but probably not for 99% of users tower, the wow category highlighting individual fantastic features, then the fan favorite Fail Compilation, and finally, Case of the Year. Let's go. Starting off with the first category of the wallet-friendly case, this easily goes to the Phanteks P300TG. This case at only $59 surpassed my expectations while still holding the core DNA of Phanteks design, like built-in ambient case lighting that you can add to. We still have a lovely TG panel, but the lower portion of the frame is actually the power supply shroud, and thus the glass is a bit smaller to complement the price point. The interior can accommodate a 280mm radiator up front, and they even redesigned the top I/O cable to allow for that to happen. Storage is fine, cable management is passable, and for a basic system, either with a radiator or a beefy CPU cooler, you'll be happy for the price. My next wallet-friendly option may be a surprise, but I've picked the Cougar QBX. This is a fantastic ITX box that remains compact, it's affordable, it's forgiving on larger hardware, so it's perfect to use on existing ATX power supplies, for example, so you don't have to buy an SFX power supply. Full-size graphics cards fit here too, and we even have space for a 120mm all-in-one cooler and a slim slot loading optical drive up top, all in a pretty attractive, sparkly gray body. Moving into the best micro-ATX option, we have the Define Mini C from Fractal Design. It's elegant, it's not too bulky, it accommodates radiators all over well, with a nice shroud that you can open up at the front as well, and fantastic cable management thanks to the recessed motherboard tray. Seriously, there's nothing bad to say about this one, it's fantastic. The runner-up is the Phanteks Evolve micro-ATX TG. It's a slightly larger alternative with more height on the frame, so you can install radiators up top, and it looks like a mini version of the Evolve ATX with beautiful aluminum exterior, smart blackout section on the glass, which is on the right side, to only reveal the SSDs, and a super convenient glass mount itself that swivels to open. Now, if you commit to a micro-ATX system, it's awesome, good for you, but I would say compact mid-towers are more flexible in case you decide to upgrade to a larger ATX motherboard down the line, which brings us to my next category of the personal favorite mid-tower. And this has to be the Fractal Design Meshify C. I have my Ryzen workstation in there with good old air cooling, and the front mesh is a brilliant combination of design with that angular pattern and of course unrestricted airflow, and also acting as a dust filter. I love the compact power supply shroud, incredibly simple cable management, and I know many don't like the super dark tint on that glass, but it kind of turns it for me like an elegant work machine instead of this sort of gaming tower. Moving into the uniquely different case, we have the Phanteks Evolve Shift and the Shift X. This is by far the coolest ITX enclosure that I've worked with. The two size options are of course appreciated. The tower design is fantastic with aluminum and glass, and the actual footprint is not much bigger than this graphics card, so that's awesome if you're in a compact space. You just need that vertical real estate. The interior segmentation is well done with a GPU chamber that has flexible mounting with fans either facing the glass or the interior. You can mount a 120 or 140 mm radiator at the bottom. Cable management is challenging, but we have that midsection that hides most of the cables entering towards the motherboard, and a lot of Velcro straps on the frame to help with that interior guidance. We can also guide the top I/O cables out of the bottom and not from the top, so they're not randomly sticking out. And I also have to give Cougar Conqueror some credit for going outside the box with this totally open aluminum and glass frame for a showcase PC. I love the shape of the glass that corresponds to the frame with individual armor-like pieces. The color scheme is pretty cool too. The motherboard is slanted, so you can explore fun directions for hard tubing if you're going with the water cooling setup, which you should. A 360 rad up top is supported, or a 240 rad at the front as well. And the overall layout, despite being so open, encourages proper cable management that even I could achieve with some sleeving. The next category of the most epic tower goes to the Phanteks and to Elite. I mean, you could build a whole system for that much money, so the target audience is quite small, but it's really a bold move from Phanteks to release something that tries to justify its price. The aluminum and glass integration is absolutely stunning, especially with the built-in ventilation on the glass panel for that lower section. The interior is gigantic, and you'll probably spend more money on water cooling hardware than on the case itself, with radiators properly supported absolutely everywhere, with removable brackets and easy to access everything basically, even with an option to have a side mounted interior radiator and a side panel to accommodate for airflow exhaust. Absolutely all the accessories are included, with drive brackets and a 5¼ drive bay and a vertical GPU mount. Storage options are awesome. You can install dual power supplies and even a second ITX system underneath the main one, and they've thought of absolutely everything from packaging to the I/O to all the possibilities with the Elite. The name certainly fits the character. The WoW category is next, highlighting individual fantastic features, starting with the best cable management system. This one goes to the NZXT H700i. I absolutely love these new plastic pieces to guide your cables behind the motherboard tray. It's brilliant. Velcro straps are here if you need them, a mini puck to wrap cables around, and more cases just need to do something like it. I will also add, this is my favorite power supply shroud design, with flexible mounting of the SSD caddies on this perforation and appropriate spacing on the front for a radiator. The best modular interior goes to the Be Quiet Dark Base 700. I love how easy it has become to invert your motherboard tray. Their approach is just fantastic. The power supply shroud follows in that same footsteps of paneling that can be removed when needed and obviously accommodates the whole inversion factor. And this case also wins the best I/O that includes a Type-C port plus dual USB 3 and an awesome fan controller. The best paint job goes to the Phanteks Entu Pro M Special Edition in white. This is how you introduce a color accent with enough black elements to hide cables with appropriate colored paneling. And the inclusion of Lux RGB frames on the fans is such a fresh take on illumination. The Cooler Master Maker 5T is another awesome example, with beautiful red interior frame surrounded by enough black to blend in with the rest of the hardware, plus an awesome ambient red LED strip is included. And lastly, the NZXT H440 Hyper Beast is a truly unique piece of art on the case. It is CSGO specific, so if you don't play, it wouldn't really matter to you, but it's a special reminder that case companies have the capacity and the know-how to expand into unconventional paint job territory. And now for the fan favorite Fail Compilation. Zalman, stick to cooling, you're drunk, as the X7 absolutely worst tower of the year. It's totally backwards, crappy, gigantic interior layout, dual TG but very little thought into cable management, plus a red Molex connector and the worst case lighting with the worst case branding too of the year. Absolutely terrible. EVGA, you better send us a cheaper case first, as the DG77 is way too expensive because it's a $59 frame with premium add-ons. TG panels that don't make sense, like non-see-through, non-reflective front and side glass, totally blocked front airflow, the fully white interior is not attractive, cable management at this price point is poor, and this dust filter is absolutely insulting. Lee, go back to aluminum cases please. You need a new designer just like you needed a new logo. The Alpha 330 and 550 feel like a go with the flow type of release. Just more TG with no focus on airflow, crappy RGB integration with more expensive model, Molex connection on fans, like what? And it just feels generic. Their older but more unique double chamber tower, the PC011, also needs a lot of refinement, like flexibility for fan mounts up top, better spacing on rubber grommets for standard ATX motherboards, proper storage compartments without so much wasted space, and please, no ridiculous interior SSD mounts. And Cooler Master, wow, they've been quite sloppy this year. They should rebrand to a Hot Apprentice, not Cool Master, because first, the 25th anniversary edition of the Cosmos 2, nothing changed, but they've added curved TG panels without any price incentive. It's a 5-year-old case brought into 2017. And then when the new Cosmos came out, the whole thing felt rushed with dual 5.25-inch drive base where only one is available. The interior division felt claustrophobic with those giant panels actually hiding more than it needs to. It seems like more thought was given to the lighting features and the overall exterior look and feel versus putting more effort into cable management. Then the highly anticipated H500P was full of disappointment, from terrible front airflow to the weirdly designed two-piece power supply shroud that, if moved back, will interfere with the SSD caddy. I love the concept of paneling to hide all this cable mess at the back, but it was poorly executed and not easy to work with. Hey Silverstone, you have the perfect opportunity to impress with your budget airflow-focused RL06 Pro, but why do you gotta ruin it with this terrible dust filter, ketchup mustard cables all over the place, a Molex-powered fan hub, no clearance on the shroud for a radiator to slide through if needed? Hey InWin, get your case designers to build a system first before launching a case. I absolutely love the structure of the 301 with unique ventilation pattern, nice TG, but the interior is just a complete mess. The cable management space is also your airflow area, and who thought it was a good idea to use plastic pieces that you have to break in order to pass your cables? Yes, a lot of disappointment this year, right? But we gotta close it off strong. So finally, Case of the Year award goes to the Fractal Design Define R6. I personally prefer the smaller mesh 5C, but this introduction really seals the deal for many with an oh so familiar frame that is available in various colors. The aluminum front plate is a staple, but the glass mount is new, so we have no thumb screws sticking out from the side. Instead, it's a two-step mount for security and better visuals. Front airflow with the door closed in my testing is not significantly affected, only a 3-degree difference, so that's refreshing. The interior is modular for either this old school look with the closed off front section or moving that entire piece back to open it up for more water cooling options. But in either configuration, you have flexibility with the front radiator without impacting that hidden storage compartment. The metal trays are slim and can be stacked on top of each other for SSDs and not taking up much vertical room. The fan controller is SATA powered and has a PWM connector for your motherboard. The top module vent can either be fully closed or opened for airflow, with the top bracket accommodating a 360 rad easy. There's even a fill port up top. So in terms of cooling options, visual variety, ease of assembly, and wiring, the Define R6 is our highly recommended Case of the Year for 2017. Experience every pixel with the GeForce GTX 1080 Ti and enjoy these awesome new games in full 4K resolution at over 60 frames per second, and get Destiny 2 for free for a limited time. Full details in the description below. And so that concludes our case awards for 2017. Let me know if you agree with my picks and what do you think of the categories. I've added the new WoW section because, you know, certain cases don't have particular something standing out, but I really want to highlight certain best features of those particular cases. And the Fail Compilation, why did it grow so much this year? I started it last year because there were a lot of disappointments, but man, if 2018 is gonna be moving like that, then we're gonna have a lot more to complain about. So guys, I'm Dimitri with Hardware Canucks. Thanks so much for watching. Happy holidays. We'll see you in next year.